For generations, modern geology has presented the Grand Canyon as a passive record of Earth's biography. The story is simple: 2 billion years of stone gradually cut open by the steady flow of the Colorado River. On April 5, 1909, a front-page dispatch in the Arizona Gazette introduced a physical anomaly that defied this textbook narrative. An explorer named G.E. Kincaid, navigating the waters of Marble Canyon, reported a discovery that would mandate a total revision of human history. Exactly 1,100 feet below the rim, carved directly into the sandstone, Kincaid and Smithsonian professor S.A. Jordan located a massive subterranean citadel. This engineered vault system was capable of housing 50,000 people. Inside, the team cataloged copper weapons, tablets etched with unknown characters, and 9-foot-tall mummified giants. This physical evidence shatters the accepted timeline of the Americas. If an advanced civilization of giants was established within the bedrock, the slow, natural erosion theory can no longer explain the site. Following the report, the Smithsonian Institution officially erased all mention of Kincaid and Professor Jordan from their archives. They labeled the entire expedition a newspaper hoax, effectively removing the discovery from the public record. Today, this denial is reinforced by physical security. The government maintains militarized no-fly zones over these specific coordinates, strictly prohibiting private drone flights. Natural rock formations do not typically require armed federal protection. The presence of a restricted perimeter suggests a necessity for containment rather than simple conservation. Federal enforcement maintains this territory as an active containment zone for an anomaly that contradicts our current understanding of biological and geological history. To identify what is being contained, we must look to the Dead Sea Scrolls. Fragment 4Q Enoch B, recovered from the Qumran caves, contains descriptions of a terrestrial prison that matches no site in the ancient Near East. In the research notes of scholar Florentino Garcia Martinez, this text is linked to the passage of the western ceiling. It describes a divine scar cut into the earth, a hyperdimensional prison designed to hold entities that cannot be destroyed by physical means. The Enochian blueprint identifies the prison floor as the Hakkatai Shale, a distinctive blood-red rock layer located deep within the canyon's basement. According to the Ethiopic manuscripts, this red stratum serves as the ceiling for 7 Nephilim, the undying offspring of fallen angels. These entities survived the Great Flood because their spiritual essence was forbidden from leaving the physical plane. The text provides specific warnings for each prisoner. Mahaziel possesses a perception that penetrates miles of solid stone, while Castale emits a sonic frequency capable of fracturing rock and wood at a distance. Raphael possesses a physical strength that shatters any metal constraint, and Archon is condemned to a state of permanent consciousness, unable to sleep for 3,000 years. The Grand Canyon is an engineered necessity. Only the colossal, localized weight of billions of tons of rock can suppress the physics of these immortal entities. A physical vault of this magnitude requires an active mechanism to keep the prisoners dormant. Downstream, the Hoover Dam serves this function. While ostensibly built for water management, the facility's scale and positioning allow it to operate as a massive, continuous electromagnetic installation. The millions of tons of water moving through the Colorado River power an energetic seal, maintaining the hyperdimensional lock from the outside. The dam's occult Art Deco architecture provides the blueprint for this operation. The 30-foot winged figures of the Republic are positioned as guardians over the energetic gates. These statues are engineered with a precise astronomical alignment to the Pleiades star cluster. In Enochian tradition, the Pleiades are the celestial origin point for the fallen angels who fathered the Nephilim. This specific astronomical alignment and the massive electrical output of the turbines indicate that the dam is a functioning, occult padlock. The Enochian blueprint contains one final, terrifying condition. The prison mechanism is not self-sustaining. It is an active lock that requires human memory to stay powered. The energetic seal decays as collective human knowledge of the prison fades. Ignorance of the Watchers and their history is the specific catalyst that causes the lock to fail. The text warns of a final generation, a society possessing vast digital data but completely disconnected from ancient reality. Because modern society views the canyon as a scenic park and the dam as a source of electricity, the energetic charge of the seal is rapidly dissipating. This loss of containment is already manifesting as a documented physical phenomenon. Visitors report a low-frequency rhythmic hum vibrating from the canyon floor just before dawn. This vibration indicates the physical failure of the Enochian prison door. The ancient seal is beginning to crack.
Millions of people visit the Grand Canyon and the Hoover Dam every year. We treat them as familiar landmarks, symbols of a tattered wilderness and the ingenuity required to harness it. But the details of the dam's design deviate sharply from standard public works. Flanking the concrete curve are two 30-foot-tall bronze sentinels, their wings sharp and stylized. Between these figures lies an elaborate terrazzo floor. It isn't a decoration. It is a precisely calibrated astronomical star map, permanently fixed to a hydroelectric facility. The lines of the map point towards the Pleiades, specifically the central star, Alcyone. Ancient astronomical records frequently label Alcyone as the star of binding, and its name is shared with a mythological giant of the Nephilim line. Diversion of the river's kinetic energy into the dam's turbines allows for the generation of a localized high-voltage grid. This massive power output mirrors the binding function of its celestial marker, creating an energetic barrier that coincides with the project's completion in 1935. This grid generates a persistent electromagnetic hum. Proponents of the containment theory suggest this frequency net is tuned to drown out low-frequency signals rising from deep within the bedrock. To find the source of those signals, you have to trace the water upstream. The Colorado River leads directly from the electrical output of the dam to the deepest recesses of the Grand Canyon. The geography suggests a two-part containment system. The dam provides the energetic suppression, while the canyon provides the physical isolation. The documented history of this suppression begins in 1909. Explorer G.E. Kincaid reported finding a massive cavern system filled with mummified remains and artifacts that did not match the known history of the American West. The government's move to secure the site was decisive. President Theodore Roosevelt began cordoning off the region, ensuring the canyon was unreachable for private exploration. While the public learned of the discovery in 1909, the legal groundwork was already in place. Maps from 1908 show a preemptive expansion of federal jurisdiction, using the Antiquities Act to claim thousands of acres under the banner of conservation. This provided a permanent legal framework for a physical quarantine. By declaring the land a monument, the state established a perimeter that could be monitored and defended indefinitely. To maintain the perimeter, the historical narrative had to be managed. The Smithsonian Institution has consistently denied the existence of Kincaid's expedition or any artifacts matching his description. The institution can maintain this stance because of its unique legal status. It operates as a private trust, which grants it certain exemptions from the transparency laws that govern standard government agencies. When researchers attempted to use the Freedom of Information Act in 2019 to access early canyon records, their requests were rejected. The private trust designation creates an information firewall that is nearly impossible to breach. These three layers work in tandem: historical erasure by the Smithsonian, physical restriction through federal law, and energetic suppression via the Hoover Dam's output. The logic of these modern barriers is mirrored in the Book of Enoch. This ancient Ethiopic text describes methods used to restrain entities from a previous era. The manuscript suggests these restraints are active processes, requiring human recognition and specific protocols to remain effective. Today, that recognition has vanished. We live in an era of digital distraction, where the internal architecture of the world is ignored in favor of data on our screens. Ancient warnings suggest that collective ignorance acts as a solvent. As memory of the restraint fades, the structural integrity of the barrier itself begins to fail. Physical symptoms of this failure are now appearing. Before dawn, hikers at the canyon floor report a low-frequency vibration traveling through the solid sandstone. Geologists attribute this to thermal expansion, the rock shifting as it cools.
It is a standard scientific explanation for a recurring physical event. But containment theorists see a different cause. As the dam's energetic suppression weakens, ancient entities buried in the deep dark are beginning to move. If the restraint relies on our awareness to stay active, then our total forgetfulness is the final stage of its collapse. The ancient inhabitants of the canyon will no longer be restricted by a system we have forgotten how to maintain.